Good morning, Renaissance Unity. All is well, and all is in divine order. Today, we're embarking on a powerful journey, a journey that begins at a line. Sometimes there's a line that you have to draw in the middle of the road, a line that you just decide, I'm going to cross that line, or I'm going to stay behind that line. We all have a line, and you have to make a decision. Whether I'm going to cross that line into something new, or I'm going to just stay back behind and conduct business as usual. But this morning, I want to know, who wants more than just business as usual? How about business as unusual? Can everybody say, I want the unusual? Give me a double portion of the unusual. So we cross this line. Stay here and be ordinary. Cross over and be extraordinary. Stay over here and see all the human limitations. Or come over here and its divine, limitless potential. We'll always ask that question. But the question really is, how many of us really want to cross that line? It was funny, yesterday I had the opportunity to go to the Asian American Pacific Islander Leadership Summit. And I got there and they said, we just want you to say a hello on behalf of the university. You got 2 minutes. So I got there, walked in the auditorium, and they said, Mr. McIntosh, our keynote speaker won't be able to make it. Can you serve in that capacity? And a side of me is human sometimes. So what did I do? I said, yes, I will. But at the same time, my heart began to race. My body became hot. And you know me, I'm Mr. Cool, Calm, Collected. On the outside. But it's the inside job that something's happening. And so I said to myself, what am I going to talk about? Because I'm looking at the audiences, primarily Asians. And so I ran into one of the organizers, and I said, what should I talk about? She said, I don't know. I said, tell me something about your culture that I should have in my back pocket, but by now in the forefront of my mind. And she said, well, we want the same things that you want. We want to experience the good. And that was enough for me to switch into the mindset of Renaissance Unity. Because we want the good all the time. So can you indulge me this morning? Can you help me out this morning? Will you please stand up? I don't ask you to do that often, do I? Look at Reverend Wilma doing that thing. Yeah, one more time. I want us to declare with power, with conviction, with energy, where we want to go. So can you just repeat after me? In my key, all right? I stand at the threshold of my divine potential, ready to argue out every limitation and step into my highest purpose. My thoughts, my actions, and my will are aligned with God's plan for my life. I am filled with divine power, and no alien thought can hold me back. With every step I take, I move closer to becoming all that God created me to be. I trust that every closed door is a redirection to a greater opening in my life. Look at somebody and tell them, you better watch out. You may be seated. Ruth, let's get real. Ruth and I were standing out in the rain yesterday at this life remodeled event, clean up the community, and I missed most of it because I had the unexpected speaking engagement. So I got there, and my best friend is grumpy. Yeah, Stuart. Where's Stuart? So he's grumpy. Brett, my best friend for 30 years. So I walk up to him, and he said, man, we just about done. Lips poked out, like they swollen. I said, well, I want to see the Renaissance Unity groups. Can you walk me around? No, I can't walk you around. What kind of spirit has possessed you? It's just water. Don't you take showers and baths? Oh, man, I'm going home. I ain't trying to hear you. What kind of Renaissance Unity member cuts off the minister? So if you guys can do something for me, I'll be speaking for about 15, 20 minutes. Can you think of a proper sanction for Mr. Boswell? But Ruth and I stood out talking in the rain for about 45 minutes. And I think she was trying to see what kind of man was I. Because we're just getting soaking wet, but we're just talking, meeting, greeting people. So in my neighborhood, when somebody does that to you, it's kind of like this thing where you say, I'm not going to be punked out. Anybody ever use that phrase? I'm not going to be punked out. I'm not going to be the first one to leave. This is a little bit of rain. So Ruth, I'm with you to the end. And I love your hair this morning. So let's get real. Those quiet conversations that we have, those quiet conversations that we have, when it's just you speaking to you. Anybody ever have those kind of conversations where it's just you speaking to you? And it could be in the late night hours, early in the morning, midday. But it's those doubts that creep into our mind and they start a conversation with us. And that voice just keeps on whispering things to us, about us. And sometimes they say, have I passed my prime? Have I missed my window of opportunity? Did I blow my chance when the chance was there? Have I made too many mistakes for God to still use me as a vehicle, as a vessel for something good? Or maybe you said to yourself, I'm never going to have enough money to live the kind of lifestyle that I want to live. I'll never have the happy relationship, the harmonious marriage. I'll never be well again after the diagnosis and the prognosis. These thoughts sneak into our mind. They hold us hostage. Anybody ever been held hostage by a thought? Raise your hand if you've been held hostage by a thought. And these thoughts, they invade your mind, your body, and spirit like an alien attack. Foreign words, foreign feelings, foreign emotions. But these aliens, they set up shop in your mind, your body, and your spirit. Who are these aliens? And where did they come from? And how did they have the audacity to come to me, to visit me, and set up residency? They're not paying any rent, not paying any bills, but they're taking over my space. Anybody know what I'm talking about? So those aliens, who are those aliens? The aliens, the anxiety, the limitations, the inferiority, the excuses, the negativity, and the skepticism. Are you familiar with those? It's a continuation of the chaos that goes on inside of us, but we're going a little bit deeper today. Because it is the alien attack that we don't know what to do with. I ask you again, what do you do when you don't know what to do? But the situation is at hand, where the anxiety is building, the limitations are appearing. I feel a sense of inferiority, less than. Because of that, I make excuses for why I won't cross that line, why I need to stay back. And it's the negativity that I'm bombarded by it. And once I have that first thought of negativity, I seem to pick up another one and another one and another one. And then I become a skeptic. Optimism goes out the door. I'm skeptical of everything I see, everything I hear, every opportunity that presents itself to me. And I even know that Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, but I don't believe it. Not for me. Anybody ever thought that way before? Where the aliens have attacked you and they're taking over you. And you're held hostage. And it's a hostile takeover because everything that you do, you're losing the battle. And every time you try to build up momentum, what's that saying? You take one step forward, 2 steps back. The alien, hostage situation. But let me remind you that those thoughts are not the truth of who you are. They're not the plans consistent with what God has planned for you. Those thoughts are not your identity. In the Bible, there's a man named Abraham. At over 100 years of age, he still wanted to be a father. And I'll put that in the right context for you in a minute. But at this point, his wife Sarah was barren, couldn't have children. But they prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. You ever been in a situation where you wanted something so bad, so you began to just pray and pray and pray, and you never cease praying for this thing that I want, this experience that I want to come into fruition? But it says, Abraham never let the aliens take over him. Now, the word alien is not in the Bible, but it is the gospel according to Glenn. But the Bible does say in Romans 4:18, against all hope, Abraham believed, and so he became. Now, can we examine that for a moment? Because when you see that against all hopes, what does it tell us? Not a chance. The odds are against you. There are obstacles. There are barriers. You're not supposed to achieve the dream that you have. You're not supposed to move into the promised land. No hope. But it said against all hope. What did we learn last week about the difference between hope and faith? Hope is the future. And it's something that we think could happen, whereas faith knows that something can happen. And so he says, against all hope, throwing hope out the door and moving into faith. Abraham believed. Believe means what? Believe means faith. Can we say that? Believe means faith. And so he became. Look at the structure of that. And so he became. Not he was given, not that it just happened. You know, sometimes we want things to happen and to just happen. But it says, and so he became. And became indicates that there's what? An evolutionary process involved here. There's an energy dispensing that's carrying him to another level of faith where we don't need hope anymore because we're using something stronger. You see it? Y'all with me? And when we move to that new level, he believed and he became, Brandon. And so this passage teaches us what? Take possession, and also that when we believe in a higher truth of spiritual potential, catch that now, write it down. When we believe in a higher truth of our spiritual potential, we activate. What's the word? Activate. Activate means what? Do it. Start it. Turn it on. Act. So activate means what? That we have something within us that allows us to push the button, flip the switch, and move forward. Activate. We activate the creative energy necessary to become what we are divinely intended to be. Y'all get it? You get it? So there's a creative energy that allows us to move in cadence with an energy force that allows us to move forward in a divine spirit, a divine nature that allows us to see it all. So let's read this together. When we believe in the higher truth of our spiritual potential, we activate the creative energy necessary to become what we are divinely intended to be. We still got to deal with those aliens, Brett. Because even though we believe and we have great faith, the aliens are still present, aren't they? How many people in here feel comfortable saying, I believe in God? How many people in here are comfortable saying, I believe in the Word? How many people are comfortable saying, I believe in spiritual principles? Now, how many people are comfortable telling me, but still, the aliens have me hostage? Sometimes. Reverend Wilma said, sometimes. And so what we need to do, because we done prayed, haven't we? We done meditated. We've used positive affirmation. God is good, and all the time. All things are working together. Renaissance doing all is well. So we know those, but it still has not cast a spell on those aliens where they released us from hostage, from bondage. And so we need something else, right? Those aliens remind me of roaches. Anybody ever had roaches in your house? Debbie, you better raise your hand. We grew up in the same house. Unless you were staying with the neighbors or something. 'Cause I remember the roaches everywhere. Roaches everywhere. Thing about it, we would try to get rid of the roaches. Use all kind of things. And you see the roaches with a fork and a knife. Saying, what you got? Bring it on. And they're just setting up shop. Everything we come in to try to kill them, they just, this is a nice little snack. We don't die, we multiply. Isn't like those negative thoughts? They're so persistent and consistent that they won't seem to die. They just multiply. I'm sitting down because y'all ain't being real, because I know some of y'all done had roaches in your house. If you grew up in the 20s the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, you had some roaches. But those roaches that won't leave require a fight. You know, my mother always used to say, at all costs, don't fight. I don't care what they do to you, don't fight. But one day, one-eyed Tracy had picked on me. It was bullying before bullying because I was a chubby kid, big-boned kid. Y'all trying to shame me? Brett, I need some therapy. And they used to pick on me. But one-eyed Tracy one day put me in a bad situation. And I talked back to him, and he didn't like that because he was the class bully. And he said, I'm going to beat you up. At that point, I had a dilemma. What am I going to do? And so I realized I had to fight. And so sometimes when those negative thoughts start to multiply like roaches, we have to fight with something stronger than we've ever used before. It's time to fight. Can somebody say it's time to fight? Those aliens that won't leave us alone, the anxiety, the limitations, the inferiority, the excuses, the negativity, the skepticism. It's time for them to go, to vacate. Tired of you taking up space in my life and holding me back. I'm tired of it. Anybody ever get tired? Like Fannie Lou Hamer said, sometimes you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then it's time to fight back. Ernest Holmes, one of the central figures in science of the mind, he talked about new thought. And he talked about affirmations. And he talked about the spirit that we have and how we use positive affirmations. You know the affirmations that we use. I use a lot of affirmations. But at the same time, my schedule is busy. I live a fast-paced life. And so there's things that come across my radar that I don't want to deal with. And I can't let that alien at that moment take over me. I got too many things to do, too many places to go, too many people that I need to see. And so at that moment, immediately, can somebody say immediately? Immediately, I need to deal with those aliens. You ever been in that scenario where an alien just appears out of nowhere? Wham, boom, bam. Wow. Where'd you come from? But I got to dismiss you quickly. And so Ernest Holmes was talking about this thing called argumentative affirmations. Can we say that together? Argumentative affirmations. Now, does anybody in here like to argue? You say it wasn't necessary. Anybody here like to argue? Because I know some of y'all. And I know some of y'all can go from 0 to 100 in seconds. And you can tell somebody what you think of them and where you want them to go. Am I lying? Tell the truth. Shame the devil. 0 to 100 in seconds. And use your Christianity in a different way. But you ain't sending them to heaven. I want you to go to heaven. It's the other place you tell them to go. But Ernest Holmes was talking about argumentative affirmations as a way to fight back the negative thoughts that we have that are persistent and consistent in our lives, in our minds, in our body, in our spirit. Fight back. And so some key points when we talk about how do we engage in argumentative affirmations. Number one, you challenge the negative thoughts. You affirm the truth. You use powerful declarations. And you're active in your engagement. Can we try an argumentative affirmation? I'm not good enough to achieve my goals. Something missing from me. Where an argumentative affirmation would say, that's a lie. I am a divine expression of God's infinite potential. I have the wisdom, the strength, and the creativity within me to achieve anything I set my mind to. So when it comes to those aliens and anxiety, how do you handle anxiety? You say, I will not let anxiety control me. God's peace fills my mind, and I release all tension. The limitations. Limitations are false. I am a limitless being with infinite potential. What about inferiority? I'm not inferior. I'm a divine creation, unique and valuable. What about those excuses? Excuses have no power over me. I take full responsibility and move forward with confidence. How do we handle negativity? It's all around us. Negativity is a lie. I choose positivity. And I know that good always surrounds me. And what about the skepticism? Skepticism has no place in my mind. I have faith in a divine plan unfolding in my life. So if you get rid of the aliens, we come back to the question, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be when you grow up? I know it's a question that we ask kids all the time. Who do you want to be when you grow up? But I'm asking you this morning as we close out September, and the theme of order. If you get your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions in order, and get those aliens out of your way so you have that clear path forward, who do you want to be when you grow up? Because all that's in front of you is the Christ. So who do I want to grow up into the Christ as? With a clear path forward, who do I want to become? What do I want to do? And what do I want to have? And then the challenge. If you make the commitment to grow up in Christ, meaning the Christ Spirit is going to now work in concert, in co-creation with you, because you have a clear path forward. The aliens are gone. Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? And can I grow into it? And if you're still feeling lost, lonely, limited, or lacking, just take a look at Matthew 18:3, and it tells you what you have to do. Unless you change to become like a little child, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Where is the kingdom of heaven? within you, and it is your highest self. But you have to become childlike. Why a child? Why a child? Because there's something about the nature of a child where a child always trusts. A child always believes. A child is open to the impossible. A child is always open to using their imagination to stretch their world out wide. So can you be like a child? Can you capture that energy, that spirit of a child again? We can. Yes, we can. Because the aliens are gone. Never again do we have to worry, to have the anxiety, the limitations, the inferiority complex, the excuses, the negativity, and the skepticism. Joseph Campbell said something that I want to remind us of. He says, we must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. This is akin to when one door closes, another one opens. But you got to go up to that next door, knock on it, try the handle, see if it opens. It will. But you got to be active and activate your power. And always remember, when the Spirit leads you, there's greater and greater things. So we bring it all together. I want to quickly share a poem with you. It's called Mastery Within. It goes like this. The storms may rise, the winds may blow, but within me, calm waters flow. For power lives not in the skies, but deep within, where spirit flies. No fear can bind, no doubt can reign, for I command my inner plane. With faith as guide and love as light, I conquer shadows, claim my might. The world is my shift. The earth may spin, but I control the force within. With every breath, I rise and stand. The strength of God within my hand. That's by Kinsey, little-known author. Maybe stand. Can I still call you friends? Can I still call you family? I like it that way, family first. Can we just do another affirmation? But play to your strength. The aliens are gone. You have a clear path forward. There's no barriers, no obstacles, but we need a reminder. So repeat after me. I will not be held back by fear or doubt. I am a divine creation, full of power and potential. Every step I take is guided by God's wisdom, and no obstacle can stop me. Closed doors do not define me. They redirect me to greater opportunities. I reject limitation and I claim abundance, purpose, and peace. Amen. Renaissance Unity, thank you for having me this morning. I love each and every one of you, and nothing you can do about it.